What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel, and welcome to tonight's call-in show, man. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had earlier, but I think we got it figured out. Everything sounds a lot better, at least in my headphones. Everything sound good to you guys?
Yeah, everything's way better.
Yep.
I can hear you clear.
Yep. Sounds
All
well.
right.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Okay, now we can stink and kick ass. Exactly, dude. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and the boys on a Thursday night, man. We got Hutch in the house, we got Dennis in the house, and this is Scott's first time joining the show, actually being on the show with us, man. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, coming on here and talking a little Carolina football, man. So before we get into a little bit of Charlotte stuff, man, I know me and Hutch spent 3 days together, man. It was stinking fantastic, my stinking guy. And unfortunately, Dennis wasn't able to get out there. And I think Scott is going to the Richmond game, if I'm not mistaken. So, but Hutch, let me know, man, from an outside perspective, man, what did you think about the college game day experience there? How was Monday, man?
I mean, it was completely different from the last time I was there, which was last year in October against Georgia Tech. And that's sort of to be expected, but the place was absolutely packed, and it felt like a football school. I'll put it to you that way. It felt like this is a football school where, like I said, I used to go to a bunch of Ole Miss games. I had some friends that were from Mississippi, and that's an experience. I mean, if you get an opportunity to go to Oxford and see a game, that's the mecca at tailgating. And it sort of had that. I won't say it was identical, but it had that type of feel. It was that, okay, there's no electricity in the air. There's a football game tonight, and we're all about it.
Right.
And when you walked in, that stadium was packed, absolutely packed.
Yeah, so, it took us forever to get into the stadium.
Right. I mean, it's just like we're
and then we had.
I remember last year it was like, just walk right up and.
Right.
Beautiful day.
Yeah. I mean, we were shoulder to shoulder, man, trying to stink and get into that bad boy. And then me and Hutch, it's my fault. And I got Verizon, terrible stinking service, and we sat there for probably 15 minutes while people are just pushing past us. It was like it was almost like, there was a dearth of food and people were like trying to stinking, get to like a pantry or something. I mean, it really was, man. People were trying to get in there. There was a lot of excitement, dude. And, it was just a completely different atmosphere from what I've experienced in all my years of being a Carolina fan. What Scott, Dennis, how did it look on TV, man?
It excuse me. It was, I would have to go back way back in the Carolina days of when everybody wanted to see LT play and those guys. I have never, it's been a long time that I have seen this type of fanfare in Chapel Hill. I mean, even the team that went to the ACC championship game, I didn't see this. I didn't know. I unless I'm off, I'm not remembering. But I don't even remember this type of fanfare, even at the ACC championship game. It almost had, excuse me, it had that North Carolina in the Final Four feel to it in basketball.
Yeah, man. It was jumping. What do you think, Scott? How was it, man?
It sounded great. It kind of reminds me, I guess, of when they beat Miami in 2019.
Right.
That place was crystal loud. That was the loudest I've ever heard it.
Yeah, that was the loudest I'd ever heard it as well. Yeah, 2019 when Daz caught that touchdown pass from Sam in the corner of the end zone. That it still gives me chills when I think about it. Yeah, for sure. I would say, and it's weird because I still felt like 2019 was different being a part of that Miami game, and then that was my son's actual first football game at Carolina, and then being at this one. This one had a little bit more pageantry, if you would. It seemed like there was a little bit, had the fireworks. They had changed that. They had Petey Pablo out there, which TCU ruined our moment because I think Petey was going to North Carolina, and I think Carolina was going to come out, and TCU actually came out. And so all of a sudden, as he's getting everybody hyped up, you just hear this boo, and I was like, oh man. So I think they had to kind of start it over, and TCU kind of stepped those a little bit, which I'm not mad at them, bro. That's a football thing to do, so respect. But yeah, the atmosphere, man, from the beginning to the end was just completely different. It shows you that Carolina can have buy-in. The people want a good product, and unfortunately, we did not get a good product on the field. After about that first quarter, and then things kind of derailed pretty quickly. So I don't want to focus too much on the TCU game, obviously, because it's gone and done. I've kind of said my piece about it. Real quick before we move to Charlotte and we get into the call-in portion, do you guys have any final thoughts about TCU before we can kind of wipe that out of our mouth to move forward?
I mean, I'll chime in and say this, just watching it from a different perspective. And I kind of rewatched some of it today. And this might go over like a fart in church, is that they got completely outcoached, and I think that was the big thing that Tar Heel Nation had this, hope that, we have. And I cautioned, I cautioned against this. I'm like, Bill Belichick is a man. Okay. He's not a deity. He is not God. Okay. He was not a God in Cleveland, and he wasn't a God in New England his last 6 years. It's like, we talked about it during the game. Russell said, name me any elite coach who didn't have elite talent. Okay.
Right.
Chuck Noll won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years, had a Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame running back, 2 Hall of Fame receivers, 2 Hall of Fame linebackers, arguably one of the greatest defensive tackles in history, a defensive back that was so good they changed the game because of it. Nick Saban at Michigan State was Nick Saban. Nobody knew who he was until he got to Alabama and had elite talent at every position.
Right.
So, but the thing is that I think that, and I'll say this, I thought about this today. Tell me you noticed anything different in this game between last year's bowl game against UConn and the road game against BC. It looked like carbon copies. Out-coached, out-tough,
and that was everything. And that was the most frustrating part of it to me, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I hate to say it, but I did say it in one of my videos. I expected a little bit more discipline and toughness, man. And I'm not saying that it won't eventually get to that point, but I was a little displeased, if you will, with kind of what I had heard was going on and what I actually saw in person. Now, I still have a tremendous amount of faith in Belichick. I don't see any reason why not to. But we've got to get it fixed. We've got to get that fixed, man. And it starts with
two quick things is that I was not a fan of the offensive play calling. I thought it was terrible. I thought if you're going to put this kid in, Gio Lopez, and you don't take advantage of what he does, why are you doing it? And I'll say this. There were a couple times where I thought he made poor reads where, you're running an RPO and he needs to pull that ball and run, and he's giving it. But again, I will go to the point when I brought this up to you once they brought Max in, and I'll say this, I think Max fits what this offense does more than Gio does. Because if you look at what Bill had in the NFL, Bill had a tall pocket passing quarterback. He loves to run 221 personnel, which is double tight, which they started doing in the third quarter. I think Max is tailor-made for that. I also think in watching the game today, Gio has a windup. He loads up to throw the ball. And, if you look at the interception he threw, he stares down an out route on 3rd and 4. You're down 3 points. He stares an out route down when Bud Clark, 4-year starter, was on the national title team, knows I'm going to sit on this route, and I'm driving that out route to the sticks.
Yeah.
Telegraphed. So, honestly, I think Max Johnson is probably the best bet going forward for what Bill is comfortable doing. But I think Kitchen's offensive game plan was just terrible. I think that was god-awful. On defense, they ran the same play, the 75-yard touchdown play on the run to start the third quarter, and the 32-yard was the exact same play. They pulled both guards, play side guard kicks out, backside guard pulls up and through. tight end blocks down on the play side linebacker. They ran it to both sides and scored both times.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. We could talk all night about stinking the play calling and everything, man. Goodness gracious. Like I said, Scott, Dennis, you guys want to get any last words out from the TCU game? Because I'm kind of ready to put a bar of soap in my mouth, man, and just be over with it.
I kind of agree with what Hutch said. I mean, I wasn't happy with some of the, Freddie's play calling at all, really.
Right.
I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But Max played well, so that's why I think they ought to go with him on Saturday.
Like Hutch said, man, I mean, with what it seems like they're trying to do, it just seems like Max would be more appropriate for that offense. And I'm not saying that – I'm not even saying, because you guys know I was fairly high on Gio. I just think that if you're not going to utilize his talents properly, then you have to go with the guy that fits the offense and what you're trying to do. Last word, Dennis, before we move on to Charlotte.
I don't personally think that you spend the whole all of your practices preparing a quarterback, and that's your number one quarterback. I don't think you want to get in the habit of switching a quarterback after one game. That sends the wrong message to the program. That sends the wrong message to the recruits. That sends the wrong message to the players on the team. I don't think that we can look at Gio and say he needs to be benched. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
He made a poor throw and he made some good throws. I think that Carolina came out with a game plan of running double tight, and it worked. And then all of a sudden they score a touchdown. And I think that we need to focus more on Freddie Kitchens than we do the players. Now, did Gio light it up? No, he didn't. But I think that, excuse me, Carolina fans tend to want to throw the baby out with the bathwater as soon as something goes bad. And if we're going to build a culture and if we're going to build a program, we have got to be consistent. And when things are bad, put people on the bench. And I just don't think that this is now. If Lopez is hurt, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've seen all of Mac Johnson I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen all of him that I want to see. And I'm happy the kid is recovered. I'm happy that – but if you guys think that Max Johnson doesn't throw the ball very well, considering the amount of time that he's played football in the SEC and some other games. I just don't think that we give up on the kid. And we had a bad game all the way around. I saw some stuff that I was happy with. I saw some things that I wasn't happy with. But I will tell you this. I didn't see the kids quitting. I didn't see them quitting like at Boston College. I didn't see them quitting like against James Madison. Yeah, they scored 42 points. But here's the thing we got to remember. This is a team 2 years removed from a national championship game, and last year went 9-3 and returned 16, 17 starters.
Mm-hmm.
They played very well. And I'll end it with this. Compete this team. The way they played. Name me one ACC school, including Clemson, including Florida State, that could have beat that TCU team on Monday night. They're very good. I'm willing to tell you right now, I bet you before the season's end, they're in the top 15 in the country. They're probably going to win the Big 12 the way they played. I was not expecting TCU's defense to play that well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's very possible.
I think Carolina's going to be fine. I think Carolina's going to be fine, and I think they're going to get it together. I believe in Belichick. I really do, and I think he's going to get this team together. And I'm not believing that everything is good either. But I know I saw some things and I saw some things that
But we lost Dennis. We lost Dennis. Dennis, you got to get back in here, brother. So I agree. I mean, I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to insinuate that. Yeah, we
there we
lost you
go.
for a second.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. So I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I saw some things that Go ahead, Russ.
I was just gonna say I completely agree that I have the utmost faith in Bill Belichick. I mean, but and like I said, we're about to move into Charlotte, man. I have heard, and I know it's crazy to me how many people want this to fail, and I don't think a lot of it is genuine in the sense that they legitimately believe that this was a really bad hire. He can't get it done, etc. For whatever reason, man, I think there's a lot of animosity built up towards him and Carolina, getting him as a coach, and it's comical to me to a certain extent. Actually, I think it's a little sad with how many people were just elated that the outcome was exactly what it was. I mean, they were elated, man. There are a lot of people who do not want this to be a thing. And I wish going into the Charlotte game that we didn't give them a reason, because that we did. The fan base showed up. Everything was great, man, except the product on the field. And we don't have anyone else to blame except ourselves.
Right.
But we gave the entire nation a reason to kind of scoff. And it's going to take a minute, bro. It's going to take a minute for us to be able to build that back up and to wipe this daggone taste out of our mouth and to make people believers. But it starts this Saturday at Charlotte, man. And I think it's the perfect opportunity. You get away from Chapel Hill, you get away from Kenan Stadium. You just got to go right down the road to play the Charlotte 49ers. You're only going to be playing in front of 18,000 people. They brought in some new stands. And this is the perfect opportunity to just kind of move forward, man. There's not going to be a ton of people watching this football, or at least not 6 million that were watching the Carolina TCU game. So this is about working on you. I kind of felt like for better or worse, I've even heard people say this, that he was using the TCU game as some sort of preseason game because of all the people that they were rolling in and out. I think I heard something crazy, like there was 9 defensive backs that played in the first half. That's insane. That's something you do when you're, it's week 1 of the preseason. And so another thing, man, is just understanding that maybe his mind works a little bit differently. And as much as we want to win now, and I think he wants to win now, maybe to a certain extent, he did utilize it as a sort of preseason game. I don't know. I really don't know. He's not going to give us that information. And I'm not trying to, downplay how terrible the product we saw on Monday was, but it's just food for thought, man. Just food for thought.
Russ, let me say this real quick. I'm gonna say this, and I Carolina fans, if you listen to me carefully. You showed who you are when you walked out at the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah.
You showed who you are. You are the fans. I'm going to say it because I don't know if Russ will say it, but you showed who you are. The third quarter.
Yeah.
You don't want to change the culture. You don't want to be a part of change. You were there for the wrong reasons, just to say, oh, well, if they'd have won, they'd have been like, oh, yeah, we won. Yeah. Well, and if they lose, see, I told you so.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see that at Pittsburgh. You wouldn't see that at Pittsburgh. You wouldn't see that at Louisville. Go ahead, Hutch.
I brought that up with Russ while we were sitting there, and I said, this is embarrassing for more than one reason. And I actually asked him when it was 20-7, I said, if they put one more in the end zone, how many of these fans are going to head for the exits?
Yeah.
I said, how many of these fans tomorrow are going to be talking about basketball on September 2nd?
I know, man.
That is expletive embarrassing.
Yeah,
I know. And he should be ashamed of it.
Yeah, and you remember little Russ. I mean, it started getting out of hand, and little Russ, he and Hutch are sitting there, and little Russ is like, he's like, hey, Dad, are we gonna leave? I said, no, Absolutely not. Not a chance, bro. We're gonna sit here and take our daggone licks like a man. We were surrounded by purple, but we ain't going nowhere, man.
Yep.
You know, we are not going anywhere, dude. We are gonna sit right here, and Hutch will tell you, Hutch, when that place had about 15,000 people in it, what was I doing on every defensive snap?
Oh, I mean, you were acting like it was 0-0, or you know, it's 7-7 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I mean, you were in full throat, dude. I mean, but you're in the minority.
The only one, dude.
Have these people that call themselves fans.
Yeah.
And, you know, they want to be about Carolina football, but you only want to be about Carolina football when it's blue skies, rainbows. And
exactly. Exactly.
The storm,
exactly.
Man. It doesn't work
I agree.
that way, man.
And it's embarrassing.
It doesn't work that way.
And I'm going to tell you this as well, because I was telling Hutch this. As the choppers were flying overhead, I understand, Tar Heel Nation, that you were not happy with the result that was on the field. But I will say this, and a lot of people are going to be mad at me, and you know what? I can give two rips, bro, because Dennis already opened this can, so I'm going to stink and say it. The simple fact of the matter is that chopper was going around the stadium and taking pictures of everybody being gone. It made a statement. You know, it made a statement, and recruits see that. And, you know, donors see that, and people see that. ESPN sees that. All the naysayers, they see that, and they say, these guys aren't real stinking fans, man. It's like, I think that they're at a point, man, you got to put a premium on loyalty. And whether the kids play good or not, we're there for the stinking kids. You know, that's my team. Listen, there's nothing. I'm a Tar Heel. There's nothing that I can do to change that. And so that is my team. That's my team. And maybe they're not playing well, but I'm going to stink and be here for them through thick and thin. It's not that I'm not going to point out when people are jacked up and they're not doing a good job, but I'm not going anywhere because this is my team, you know?
But the problem I have, Russ, is the fans that left that game are the same ones that if in 2 years, in 2027, if this team goes 11-1 is in the playoff, they're going to be the ones that are, you know, look at me, trumpeting their fandom and acting like they're you.
Right.
You know,
yeah. It's one of those. It's
like,
one of those. Don't be a fan later, bro.
You left. You were that dude who bailed out literally right after halftime. Of games.
Yep.
You know what Hutch just brought up. Kind of reflection back. These are the same folks that threw a hissy fit when Belichick got hired, and I call them the chocolate chip crowd. They are the same folks that wanted Mac Brown to be and standing on that sideline. If Mac Brown been on that sideline on Monday, it would have been 85-0. That's the same one that let James. Those are the same folks that after James Madison hung 70, they were the same ones saying, "Oh, we're gonna be all right."
Yeah,
those are the people that were heading out the gate on Monday in the beginning of the third quarter.
Right.
But I've said my piece on that. So
yeah, we got to get better, man. We got look. I'll be the first one to tell you, we got to get more talent. We got to get better coaching. We got to get better everything. But I'm telling you one thing that we need to get, man. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't stink and give a rip, bro. We got to get more loyal fans. You know, I mean, imagine. And look, I'm coming from a different perspective, and then we're gonna stink and move on. Imagine as a former soldier, imagine if we're losing the war and I'm holding the fort, bro, and I just say, you know what, we're losing. I'm gonna stink and I'm gonna leave. No, bro, I'm gonna stink and stay in my stinking ground. You know, you think Hutch is out there in Texas, man. What do you think they did at the Alamo until the last man was standing, bro?
Yep.
Until the last stinking man was standing. That's hard. That is a Tar Heel. I'm sorry, man. You're getting me stinking. Oh, my goodness, bro. I can't stand a Tar Heel, bro, that stinking turns and runs, bro. You need to look up the history of a daggum Tar Heel, bro. Anyway, I've said my piece on that. Goodness gracious, Dennis, you got me all fired up, bro. You got me all stinking fired up. So anyway.
It's the truth. It's the truth. We speak the truth here.
I know, man. I know exactly, dude. So we'll go ahead and get into Charlotte real quick, dude. We're way stinking behind. Here's the leaderboard right here. Hutch is 1-0. I'm 0-1. And so was the sim and the fan poll. And this is Hutch's pick and my pick. We got a 1-point difference on offense and a 4-point difference on defense this week. The sim said Carolina 54-7. That would be beautiful. However, I think that that's still slightly unlikely. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the UNC fan poll is still saying that Carolina's going to win. It's actually gone up closer to about 80% since I actually posted it. So this Saturday right now, this is the scheduled weather. 90 degrees, partly cloudy early, supposed to be scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. I like the look of this stuff, man. I'm an old man that likes to sit there and talk about the weather. And then probably about game time, dude, 67 degrees, maybe a stray shower, thunderstorm. So if you're going to be at Jerry Richardson Stadium Saturday, you might want to bring yourself a raincoat right now. Obviously, things can change within the next 2 days or so. Big news. We got the flip, dude. JB Shabazz, 4-star offensive tackle, flip from Tennessee to North Carolina. He's an in-state kid. We were talking about putting a premium on, Carolina getting these kids in state. So this is actually a big flip, man. He's a high 3-star in some sites, 4-star guy. And we know that we need some good young offensive linemen, dude. So this was a big flip. And I think there might be a couple more in the barrel, if you will. If you want my full thoughts on this game, make sure you check out the preview and prediction show. Pop had some of that spicy TCU hot sauce, and he had to wash it down with some Charlotte milk. So, but it's a good little preview, man. And I was kind of excited about it, making it and everything. So make sure you go ahead and check out that preview and prediction show. Now, uniforms, before we open up this call line, blue tops, white uniform with the white breeches, dude. So I was hoping we'd go with the blue breeches and save this blue white for a different game, but I like it. It's clean. And once again, we're going with that classic look. So nothing new under the hood just yet. As far as the uniforms are concerned, a lot of people talked about Navy. Obviously, it's an away game, so still going with that classic look, man. But the most important thing is that we get the stinking W. We can look as pretty as possible, which we looked really good Monday night. But you got to come out on stinking top, man. So I think that's what I had right there. Yeah, I think that's what I had. So let me get this off of here real quick. And then I'm going to put these fine gentlemen up here. And then I'm going to open up the daggone phone line so we can get some score predictions. And you guys can tell me what you think about Charlotte. Now, like I said, this game, phone lines are open. As you can see there on the screen, 919-590-3514. You can call, give me your score prediction. And if you got a question for one of these fine gentlemen, by all means, Scott, Dennis, and Hutch are all ears, man. So let us know what you think about this game. DJ said, and I like DJ, man. I got to meet DJ at a Carolina basketball game. Good dude. He said, Charlotte will beat us. Goodness gracious. I tell you what, if Charlotte beats us, Ray, it is going to be a goodness gracious. It's going to be pandemonium in Chapel Hill. What? Let me ask you guys that while we're waiting for a daggum phone call, man. What happens if somehow Carolina goes to Charlotte and loses to the 49ers?
That's
oh, buddy.
Yeah, I mean that honestly, I think if you think the kind of the chirping right now and all the naysayers with the Belichick who want this to fail, that's going to be they're going to be insufferable.
Yeah.
On top of that, I think if they go there and they fail and they lose to a Charlotte team, and honestly, watching this Charlotte team last Friday, like I went to BW3s and was sitting there having dinner and watched that game. I was watching the Auburn Baylor game, and then Colorado and Georgia Tech were on the screens, and just watching UNC Charlotte. That is a bad team. That offensive
I agree.
Line, that offensive line is terrible. The quarterback play was atrocious. It was just they're just not good. And it's not like I said in the preview video with my score prediction. It's not like this is the App State team from 2019, 2020. It was a 10-win team. It was a Sun Belt contender. This is a team that struggled to get 6 wins the last couple years, and it just obliterated them.
Right.
And they weren't much better defensively too. So
right. Yep, 100%, man, 100%. As we see here, what's that, Scott?
It's not going to happen, I don't think.
So what's your score prediction, brother? Tell me what you think while we're waiting for a call.
35-17.
35-17, good guys. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And since you guys are on tonight, you're automatically entered into the $125 score prediction contest. So, yeah, we're all around the same spot. 35 says Scott. We got our first caller, man.
I'm going 42-10.
We'll get you in a second, Dennis. What's going on, man? Who am I speaking to? Hey, what's going on, Daryl? What's up, brother? Good to hear from you, man. How you doing? We got another hooligan on the phone. What's up, brother? Yes, sir. I can't wait to hear it. What you got, Daryl? 25-10, North Carolina. Good guys. And that's not a lot of offense, Daryl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. You know what? I to be honest with you, I was very surprised to see 26 on the field, because I remember, I remember we had talked about a little bit in the Discord, kind of what his role was going to be, at least, for the beginning parts of the season, and they actually put him, which is crazy, man. They actually, when Marcus was taken from the game, Khalil was actually guarding 7. So when you say that they put him in the fire, they put him in the fire because 7 was killing us. Yeah. I know, I am too. I think that surprised all of us. That I definitely did not foresee that going into the football game, especially from a kid, coming from Idaho. I'd watched a little bit of Dwyer's film and everything. He's not a very big guy. But I was surprised as well. I was really surprised that we didn't press a little bit more and that he was given that soft cushion, because that was it reminded me of the old regime. Keep everything in front of you. No, we do not need that. Exactly, brother. Exactly, man. Yes, sir. Right. Yep. It's a good game to try to do that, brother. It's a good game to try to do that. Man, I appreciate you. It's good to hear you, Daryl. It's good to hear you, brother. And I appreciate all you do for the channel and everything like that, brother. And like I said, we'll definitely be keeping our eye on Khalil, man. Shout out to Khalil, man. We are big fans of Khalil Conley here. We want nothing but the best for that young man. So yeah, keep your eyes on 26, because we got some family and everything close to the show. So I appreciate you, Daryl. He's doing all right. Look at him. How's that you're doing, Hutch? All right, I appreciate you, brother. All right, man, later. Hutch, he was checking on you. He was checking on you, man. He said, "How's our favorite Yinzer?"
Man. I'm here, brother. Where else would I rather be than with the hooligans, man?
Yep, 100%.
Like I say, man, I'm just a little lost Appalachian kid that found a whole bunch of Carolina hooligans that welcomed him in like a lost puppy. So
there you go.
I'm Come
on in. What was that score prediction you had, Dennis? What do you see in this game, brother?
Look, I think the quarterback from Appalachian State hung a total of 458 yards of offense on Charlotte. So I see a Carolina team. I see a pissed off Carolina team, and I'm going to go 42-10.
42-10. Now, see, I'm good with that. That would be that would give me a little bit more. It's that when you watch Charlotte play, and unfortunately, you guys know I love the Harrell family. I got to speak to Connor's dad. Great man, really good family, just super respectful, just really good people, man. And we were all really pulling for Connor last year. But I just don't believe that offense is going to be able to put up a bunch of points. They shouldn't. To be completely honest with you, if Connor and the Charlotte 49ers are able to put more than 20 on the board against Carolina, we've got some issues. We really do. We've got some issues, man, because it's just they don't have a lot of talent at the skill positions. And like Hutch said, even the lines of scrimmage are not very good at all. So this should be a team that we can work on some things and that we should be able to dominate. I feel like we should be able to dominate because it's probably one of the worst, Division I teams in the country at this point. That's just my personal perception. Man. So yeah, Dennis says 42-10, man. Carolina, I'd be fine with that, dude. Beat them by 32 points. Especially if that's letting off the gas a little bit later in the game. But I'm looking for the physicality and the toughness. Dude. Those are the two things that I need to see to make me feel warm and fuzzy going into the remainder of the season. Because that's what I was promised, man. That's what I was told. I was told that this was going to be and like you said, they should be pissed off. So I should see some guys flying around, hitting people, ready to play some daggone football, dude. That is what I should see. I'm surprised Nick didn't call in, man. You think Nick would want to call in and talk a little crap? A lot of the Wolfies, man, have got to be on cloud 9 right now. Laugh now, cry later. That's what I'm at least hoping.
Yeah, and that NC State team wouldn't have beat that TCU team either. So let's
right, 100%. They wouldn't have beat the TCU team either. No. And if ECU didn't have an atrocious play call, down there inside the red zone to finish that game, could have easily went into overtime, and who knows what would have happened, because I think at that point ECU had some of the old Mo. They got a tough test, man. I think Virginia, Hutch was talking about UVA, and I didn't believe him. I said, there's no way, dude. But the way that they beat up on Coastal Carolina, which is not just some, rinky-dink program, UVA might have something for them. I'm actually hoping that they do.
They've got a favorable schedule, other than Carolina. Virginia probably has the kind of easiest schedule. And here's the thing: I mean, say what you will, Tony Elliott, those kids are playing. They've played their asses off for him the last couple of years. I mean, they're losing because they're not as talented as their opponents, but they've bought in and they are playing hard for him. He's still got that team. And Chandler Morris was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, an Elite 11 recruit. I mean, he was at Oklahoma for a reason. When he was at TCU, he came in and beat Texas. Mm-hmm. Before he ended up losing his job, he got hurt, lost his job to Max Duggan, but tore it up last year at North Texas. He threw for almost 4,000 yards. So you pair him with Harrison Whaley, who was at Wyoming last year before. They've got some ability to, if you sleep on them, they're going to beat you.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, man. Yes, it could be a tough team, dude. Could be a tough team. Hey, call into the show, 919-590-3514. Little Russ in the house. He's supposed to be in stinking bed because he's got school in the morning, but look at him. He's sneaking in here because we're live. Yeah, he's got the Tez Walker jersey on. The NIL Tez Walker jersey. Yeah, call into the show, man. Give me your score prediction. Got to call into the show. We got 5 right now, and all of them are daggum hooligans. So we need at least one. Come on, guys. Got to call into this bad boy, man, and tell me what you think about the game, the state of the program, something. State of the program or something, man. So yeah, I'm excited about Saturday night though. Because I'm ready to get this W, out of the way. Nobody is gonna, obviously it doesn't matter what happens against Charlotte. There won't be one person that says, okay, let me take a step back and look at this, with some reasoning. But it's important for us to go ahead and get that first W under the Belichick era so we can go ahead and move forward with the season, man. DJ says it's going to be payback for Connor. Interesting. I don't personally know that he has that in him. To be completely honest with you, brother. I just don't know if he can do it for 4 quarters. Maybe a splash here and there. But I just don't know.
Or does he have the supporting cast to do it?
Or does he have the supporting cast? Exactly. Little Russ, man. What do you think? What's the final? Carolina at Charlotte. $31 to 17. Carolina. All right. Okay, so 31-17. Carolina says Little Russ for $125. The score prediction, man. Looks like you got a fan. Hutch. Let me find it real quick. Man. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Jed said, I think Hutch needs to suit up at linebacker.
Well, I'm slower than smoke off crap, so that probably ain't gonna work. So,
yeah, he said.
But I appreciate it though. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. He said you got the physique of a backer, Hutch.
I at 48 years old, I'll take it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny, man. That's stinking funny. That's funny, man. So, like I said, it looks like that's going to be it tonight as far as the call-ins are concerned. I'm sorry about the little technical difficulty at the beginning of the show. Make sure that this Saturday, man, you guys already know where home is, bro. ESPN Plus will get started at about 6:30, 6:45. Little Russ actually has a football game that we'll be coming back from. But 6:30, 6:45 we'll get started. And this is one of my favorite parts of the actual show, man, is the sitting here hanging out with the hooligans, watching, the game together, man. So make sure that you guys come and hang out for the watch party. We'll have a really good time. This is the home of Carolina football watch parties. So if you're not doing anything, stop by, hang out with your boy, and we'll have a good time, man, watching Bill Belichick and the Hills.
Here's my final thought, Russ.
First W. Talk to me, Goose.
And my final thought is that, you're 0-1, but you got 1 non-conference loss. You got 3 non-conference games before you get into the ACC. So if you're the Heels and you're this coaching staff, you need to lay out to these kids that, your goals are still there. Your goal is you can still win the ACC. These next 3 games, you need to – I hesitate to see – they're not preseason games, but they're winnable games. They're games that you should win. You need to hone in, sharpen your focus, sharpen your production and your execution before you get into Clemson and the heart of your ACC schedule. So, right. I mean, if I'm this coaching staff, I'm like, you know what? Hey, do not overlook this 3-game stretch. This 3-game stretch is important for – basically improving, going against another opponent, as opposed to, practice where you're going against each other. And then you get into the heart of that ACC schedule where, hey, look, 7-1, 6-2 might get you to the ACC title game this year. You don't know. Yeah. So maintain your focus, get back to work.
Right. Get back to work and see what we can do for there. Excuse me. Thinking energy drink that I'm drinking way too daggum late. DJ says 37-33 Charlotte. He's going to be the one lone individual picking Charlotte, and we are going to include him into the call-in show portion because obviously I'm familiar with DJ and he is unable to call into the show. Great guy. One of the coolest moments that I've had since I started this channel. Just getting to meet DJ at a basketball game and everything. So love you too, brother. I appreciate you, DJ. We don't always agree, man, but that's the great thing about this show is we don't have to, and we can still be stinking family, love one another, and root for the daggum Heels, man. So, real quick, Scott, Dennis, final thoughts on Charlotte before we get out of here.
It's a win, I believe.
W, feeling good about this Saturday?
Yeah, it just even looking at the stats from Charlotte, I mean, they just look bad.
Right.
So I just don't really think they have a chance, and we should be fired up. I know I would be.
Yeah, 100%, brother. We're on the same page right there, brother. Dennis?
Excuse me. I'm not so concerned about beating Charlotte. I want to see progression, and if I can see progression at all of the levels, and then I'll be happy. One of the things that you guys brought up, I don't know if it was Hutch or both of you guys said that when I was sitting there watching the game, I was saying to myself, why are they subbing so much? And I was watching. I said, like, you can't be tired after 2 or 3 plays. And I noticed that, and I thought that was kind of odd. I did see that what you guys were talking about, how many defensive backs played and so forth and so on. But I'm looking for progression. I'm looking for players. One of the things that I did like about, not much to like about the game against TCU, but one of the things I did like, the players were in proper position. You didn't see Carolina players turn around looking at each other, pointing, go over there, go over here, and out of sorts. And I did like that from a defensive standpoint, that they were ready to play, but they didn't play well. But so I'm looking for progression, and I'm looking for Carolina to come out and dominate a team that they're supposed to dominate. Right. Dean Smith used to say, you want to go to the NCAA tournament, win the games that you're supposed to win. And the rest will take care of itself. Win the games that you're supposed to win. Like Hutch said, we got these games coming up. Don't overlook anybody. Get into Clemson and be 3-1 and then get back on track. Even after that, it could be running in 6-2, 7-2, whatever. But I'm looking for. I'm expecting this team to look a lot sharper and play a lot more physical.
From week to week. Yeah, I agree with you, brother. That's what I need to see too, man. I need to see progression. And like I said, in Bill we trust, man. For all the naysayers, for all the people that for whatever reason, it's crazy to me how many people are laughing at me for thinking that a person of that pedigree can get it done. I'm not saying that it will get done, but if I had to put my money on somebody to get it done, it might be somebody with his background, So I don't think that that's foolish at all to believe that he can do what needs to be done. We'll see, man. Only time will tell. But what's up, brother?
Russ, I got a question for the panel here. Do you guys believe it's possible to have a good loss?
Hold on, real quick. We'll come right back to that in just a second. Let's see who's calling. Oh, they gotta call me back. Call me back real quick. You guys can't hear that phone call?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's only on my end. If you try to give me a call, man, call me back one more time real quick. Is there a such thing as a good loss?
I think that there is, but I think it has to be an opponent that you're heavily an underdog, that no one expects you to win, and you come out and you take them to the limit, and prove that, hey, this is a team that was supposed to beat us by, 3 touchdowns, and it was a few plays here or there that we could have won that football game, because that does a lot for your psyche as a team, that, hey, if that's the best team that's out there, or that's a team that was supposed to beat us by 3 touchdowns and we were 1 or 2 plays away from taking that W, I think that does wonders for your confidence and for your. I hate the term swagger, but it does wonders for your team morale. You go into that mindset of, hey, we can play with anybody. You put us on a field with anybody, we're gonna take our pound of flesh, and you might beat me, but you're gonna believe to do it.
Right. Yeah. Scott, any such thing as a bad loss or a good loss?
Like, I guess whatever years we lost to Clemson, but it was at home, like just barely.
Right.
I thought that was a good loss because nobody was going to give us a chance anyways.
Right.
Whatever year that was, I think.
2019 when we that was Mac's fourth game after I think we were 2-1, and we dropped the App State game, and then played tough. Yeah. I think I kind of second what Hutch said is if it's a team that's better than you and you play them tough, I think it's a good loss. The only other time that I could think that it would be a good loss is in this case, if for whatever reason Carolina was somehow sleepwalking or they just didn't play to their potential in this game and they got their ass handed to them on national television, and all of a sudden it actually lit a fire into everyone and they played to their potential for the rest of the season. Then I would say we could look back at TCU and say, was it fun losing? No. But, from that moment, this team became a more cohesive unit and they played better. So, nice son, love you. And that we'll find out if we can look back to the TCU game and say, hey, that was a good loss, because it changed the trajectory of the season from there. It was just a different team. We'll see. So, I guess the person that called, man, I missed him. Ain't gonna give me a call back. So, I don't know, Hutch or Dennis. Final words, man. Final thoughts. Is there a such thing as a good loss? And was TCU a good loss?
I think there's plenty of teachable moments from that game, and I think it's something that Coach Belichick can take and show them. One, you just can't talk about it. You got to go out and do it, and you have to play together regardless of where everybody is from. You got to play together as a team, and I think there'll be plenty for him to anybody that was in there that was thinking that they were the next coming of Lawrence Taylor or Julius Peppers. He showed them that they weren't, and I don't think that Coach Belichick wanted to lose the game, but I think that he wanted to kind of trim the fat a little bit and figure out who's who and who's not. And he wanted to win the game. I don't think he went in wanting to lose the game because teach make a point. But I think there's plenty to teach this team. And I'm not a bet man, but I think we're gonna look back on this game and we're gonna say, okay,
yeah,
let's go. That's the culture building, the moment that took place.
Right.
Now I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Only time will tell, brother. And we'll see when they take the field Saturday against Charlotte, man. We'll see if there's been any progression. We shall see, my friend. So, hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, man. Like I said, I apologize for the lateness. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had at the beginning of the show. But we got through it. We got through it, man. And I'm excited about Saturday night. So shout out to Scott, Dennis, and Hutch, man. For
Russ, here's my shameless plug for any of y'all watching this that got kids or anybody that kicks footballs. This is your guy, my man, Oberchrome. TexasKicking.com, man. 13 dudes, D1 starters last year. So some shameless plug.
I like it. If you got a son that can kick the football or he's looking to be a kicker, hey, Hutch just put you on, man. Hutch just put you on.
There you go.
TCU's
Good work.
was actually pretty daggum good. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys once again, man, and we'll see y'all boys. We'll see y'all boys Saturday, man. All right.
All right.
All right, man. Go Heels, guys.